Well, this is a letter of resignation. I think it's time for me to move on, or at the very least, move out. And just to make things clear, I'm playing a character here. This isn't me. But then again, am I ever me? At the centre of it all, there's a place of calm. I know that. I've known that for a long time, ever since the first time I stepped out on stage and became someone else. Aged 5, school nativity, third shepherd. I was the one with the crook, the lamb, and the impressive headdress. And yes, for the only time in my life, I was mistaken for one of the wise men. But I digress. Up until that point in my life, I had always just been me. But on stage, I didn't have to be me. And even at that early stage, at that early moment, what I saw stretching ahead of me was a vast dressing up box of roles that I could climb inside and hide. Because that's the paradox of acting, isn't it? Wanting to be seen by many, but remaining hidden. Listen to me. This isn't me. Here I am, disappeared in front of you. Okay, I'm not Paul Daniels, but you get the idea. I realised I could live 1,000 lives, which isn't bad when you don't like the one you're living. Hamlet says, to be or not to be. That's the question. But that's so Hamlet. I mean, getting things completely wrong. You know, if me and Anne were down the pub, I call him Anne, I'd of course listen to his banging on about stuff, which, let's be honest here, is all that a soliloquy ever is. And then I'd wait for a moment when he was lifting his Carlsberg to his lips and say, Hamlet, mate, I think you'll find to be and not to be, that's the answer. Well, it is if you're an actor, which I am at the moment. I am an actor playing the role of an actor. And you, as you're watching this, you're playing the role of the audience. And by the way, I hope you like the seats that I've got you. Centre of the stalls, no big bloke in front of you blocking your view. Thank me later. So now we've established what's going on here. Me, actor, you, audience. And I've been through how the whole acting thing is a way of me not being myself. What about you? What are you doing? What are you doing when you're an audience? Who are you being? Or who are you not being? Are you being someone who wants a moment of escape from their life? Or are you being someone who wants to see a reflection, no matter how refracted, of that life? Do you want to stop thinking? Or do you want to start thinking? Or do you want a confirmation of or a contradiction to what you're already thinking? Well, theatre, and this is theatre, albeit electronic, recorded, screen delivered, can be any of those things and a whole lot more. But that presents us with a problem. No one really knows what is theatre for. Okay, I'll just pause there to let some of you leap to your feet and start banging on about the importance of theatre. Have you finished? Okay. Well, I agree with you. I think theatre is important. But I would, wouldn't I? I'm an actor. But the fact that theatre is important is an argument that's known and often made. What I'm asking about is something else. What is theatre for? And more importantly, what is theatre for the people who don't go to the theatre, which is most people? That leads me to the question, what's the point of my existence? Which largely consists of me being people who don't exist. And what's the point? Not for me. We've established what the point is for me. It's a way to hide in plain sight. What's the point of me for the people who don't come to see me? Oh, I think that's my ego talking, and that wouldn't be the first time. The real question is simpler. Why don't these people come to the theatre? Why have they decided that if the question is, what is theatre for, their answer is, well, it's not for me. Maybe it's like cheese. I mean, not everyone likes cheese. And if you don't like cheese, why would you buy it? And all those people who tell you, Well, you just haven't tried the right cheese yet, darling. Well, they're missing the point. You don't like cheese, which is all right, isn't it? I mean, there's no law that says everyone has to like cheese. Well, there probably is one in France. But let's face it, after Brexit, you're probably not going to be able to go there anyway. I'm digressing. In my opinion, theatre is not for everyone. And we have to be okay with that. But also, in my opinion, theatre can be for more people. And the way to do that is not to keep banging on about how great theatre is and how relevant theatre can be, but to start from somewhere completely different. Start where the people already are. Go to them. Listen to what they're already doing and figure out where they're already doing it before you start trying to sell them your particular wheel of cheddar or parmesan or Gouda. I'm digressing again. Theatre's great. Its achievements and traditions are magnificent. But you know what? That's part of the problem. And on top of all this, to those outside, it can appear like a code they don't understand, or they think they won't understand. And who wants to watch something that they think is going to make them feel stupid? I mean, you can do that by simply turning on University Challenge. Don't think of the theme tune, I'll lose you. So the secret is to get people into theatre, people who see theatre as not for them. Well, the secret is you don't start with the theatre. Here's where you start. On any one night, in any town, in any part of the country, or the world for that matter, if you go into any pub or bar, you'll find people telling each other stories. So people tell each other stories. That's a shared experience of both telling stories and listening to stories. And you can layer onto that this reality, this fact. Another shared experience for almost everyone is the shared experience of being a child and being told stories. I'll let that sink in for a minute. Here's the truth. People like stories. They know how to tell them. They know how to listen to them. And we need to hold on to these facts. For in these facts, there's the future. Loads of people say or think that theatre's not for me. But no one ever says or thinks that stories aren't for them. And that's why, after all this time, a lifetime lived as an actor, I'm handing him a notice. I'm resigning as an actor. And I'm re-signing as a storyteller. And yes, sometimes I'll tell the stories I choose to tell by acting. But other times, I'll just be telling stories in any way I see fit, on any subject, at any length, at any place, via any medium. I mean, you're watching this on a screen, aren't you? After all I've really done is tell you a story. And it's kind of worked, hasn't it? The story of an actor who resigned from being an actor. This is the Lockdown Theatre Company. And for the Lockdown Theatre Company, if you've got a screen, we've got a stage. And that's where we tell stories. And people like stories. And once you understand that, anything's possible. Oh.